taken advantage of. The next thing I want to talk about is about Windows Azure mobile services. And this is where the cloud computing angle comes in, and we'll talk a little bit about the whole services aspect also shortly. Think of Windows Azure mobile services as a backend for your app. Insert a backend as a service, if I may call it that. And this enables you to configure notifications for your apps. It enables you to configure authentication if you want to kind of use various types of authentication are available. And if you wanted to use that using a mechanism in the cloud, you could consider using WAMS or Windows Azure mobile services. Similarly, if you had to store data, this can be a really good way for you to encapsulate your data logic and put it into a Windows Azure mobile service. The advantage of having WAMS or Windows Azure mobile services is that this backend can not only power Windows apps or Windows 8 apps, it can also power iOS apps, it can also power Android apps. Windows Azure mobile services is designed to be multi-platform in the sense that it can actually support apps which are across multiple platforms, and you can use this as a kind of a backend for apps that are spanning across different kinds of front ends. All right, so I know that we have about 10 minutes more, so I won't spend too much time on talking about how you can use Bing as a platform, but be aware that there's a whole bunch of APIs and SDKs that you can take advantage of from Bing within your apps, which includes OCR, which includes search, which includes speech, translation, maps, and so on. All of these can be taken advantage of by you as an app builder. From a services perspective, Microsoft has been at the forefront of implementing a wide range of services for many years, which includes things like SkyDrive, Xbox Live, Skype, Yammer, Azure itself, and so on. And there are a wide range of mechanisms which you as an app builder can take advantage of that. SkyDrive, for example, has an API which you can take advantage of within your own apps. So when you think about Windows in the cloud, it's not just Windows, Azure, and Windows Server, but a whole range of offerings that are available both from a public cloud, a hybrid cloud, and a private cloud perspective. And you can take advantage of Active Directory in the backend, System Center, Hyper-V for virtualization. All of this is available from a cloud perspective for you as an app builder and a solution provider. If you have to think of Windows Azure from a simple perspective, it not only supports IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, but also PaaS, which is platform as a service. It also supports identity. You can also have a variety of programming models and tools. And just to be clear that some of you might be wondering about what kind of technologies you can use with Azure. We support a wide range of technologies on Azure, which includes Java, which includes PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby on Rails, Linux, and so on. All of these are kind of supported on Windows Azure. So which means that from a server perspective, Azure can leverage a whole range of skill sets that you as a solution provider or an app builder might already have. Finally, coming to Common Core, this is a goal that we are moving towards, and right now I'll be candid in saying that we haven't completely achieved it 100%, but this is a direction in which we want to move, is that we at Microsoft want to make it reasonably easy for you as a developer to be able to address the various device form factors that are available on the left-hand side, and similarly the various cloud opportunities that exist both from a public cloud as well as from a private cloud or a hybrid cloud scenario which exists on the right-hand side. And we'd like to keep the programming skills, the development tools, the frameworks, the components, the runtimes that you use as common as possible so that it simplifies your life as an app builder or a solution provider. So that's the goal and intent, and we are moving towards that direction as much as possible. Later this year, you will also hear about more initiatives that we are doing to be able to achieve that goal. So to wind up, what I'd suggest to all of you is that here's a great opportunity for you to create new experiences for your own customers, for your own users of your applications or solutions. you can reach more people. The main pitch that I make to you today is that essentially this is an opportunity for you to expand your horizons. We are not asking you to leave anything that you're currently doing. What we are saying is that this is an opportunity to take some of your existing skill sets and expand that to much more customers, expand that to much more consumers, and essentially use what you already know and build upon that. And we'll show you ways in one of my closing slides. I have a wide range of resources which will be available for you to learn from and take advantage of. Many of these resources are freely available. So fairly or at pretty much low or no cost, you'll be able to start your app development journey on Windows 8. So as promised, here's the whole range of resources that are available. I'll keep this on for some time. And in the meantime, I'll check with Srilagna if there are any questions. Some of you might want to note down these URLs. I'm going to keep this slide available, and I'm sure a recording of this webinar will also be available, so you can also take down these URLs later. As promised at the beginning of the session, we said we're going to cover the opportunity, provided a link wherein you can deep dive into the wide range of opportunity that exists on Windows. We have a dedicated resource, akka.ms/design, for helping you adapt to the modern UX design. Then there's a whole range of resources that are available for you to learn to build Windows apps. The one that I'd like to highlight is the Microsoft Virtual Academy, which has free courses available for you. Many of these courses are only about 1 day long, and these are free and online. And you can take them at any time of the day. There's no real restriction. It encompasses videos, it encompasses PowerPoint decks, it encompasses some examples as well as some exercises that you can do. All of that is free on MicrosoftVirtualAcademy.com, and of course take advantage of all the other learning resources that are provided below that. Similarly, if you're thinking of cloud enabling your apps, Microsoft Virtual Academy also has a bunch of cloud courses that are available for free, and you can also get your 1 month free trial of Azure using the URL that I mentioned. akka.ms/Azure trial will take you to the place where you can set up your 1 month trial of Azure. Now I'll spend just 1 minute explaining a little bit about App Lab. Let's say you've started your development journey, and a couple of weeks or 2 weeks later, you run into a technical issue and you don't know whom to contact. Guess what? We've set up in India, we've set up an App Lab which is designed explicitly to help you remotely with some of these issues that you might encounter while building your Windows 8 app. The email alias that you need to keep in mind is w8pitcrew@microsoft.com, which should also appear on your screen. And if you want more details, we also have a URL which tells you a little bit more about the App Lab. But feel free to take advantage of that, and you can write your technical queries to w8pitcrew@microsoft.com, and they typically take about 3 to 4 working days to respond because of the huge queue of queries that come in on a daily basis. But this is one mechanism for you to get support locally from India. And like I mentioned, we have the App Builders Club. Go to appbuildersclub.com to check out more details about that. But this is a community of technologists like yourself, app builders, solution providers, and so on, who've got together, and we have a range of offerings available for the App Builders Club. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but feel free to visit the App Builders Club website. And then those of you interested in reviewing other people's apps and learning from the apps that other people might have made or giving them feedback, we also have the App Review Board. And this is essentially meant for app enthusiasts to give feedback to their peers in terms of how their apps can improve. And we really would like to encourage this as a community of people, so that not only can you learn from all the various resources that we provide as Microsoft, but also so that you can learn from the community itself, that is your peers as well as people across the world. And with that, I'm going to check with Srilagna if there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Mark, for that really insightful presentation. We are almost running out of time. Though I have assigned you a couple of questions, I'm not sure if you will be able to take take all of them now?
Maybe let's take 2 or 3.
Sure.
Let's take 2 or 3, Sri Ranga.
Sure. So, request you to view the questions in your questions window on the control panel. Let me know if you can view them. If not, then I can read out the questions.
Yeah, go ahead and read it out. I can see them, but it's a little difficult to scroll.
All right. Okay. It actually, ideally, you should pick up the questions since you are going to address only 2 or 3 now, given the time frame. So how about you undock the questions window? It's the
Okay.
option right next to the
Yes,
cross
I've done that.
button.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've done that. So
Yeah.
let me go through. So the first question is by Praveen Kumar. Does the